Hey everyone, today I am here to share this simple, affordable DIY hair growth spray with you guys using distilled water, aloe vera juice, hibiscus flowers, chamomile, glycerin, Optifin Plus, MSM, lavender essential oil, and lemon essential oil. And I know that I am talking way ahead of the video, but that is what I mostly do in each video that I create in order for me to talk about the benefits of each and every one of these ingredients, and also to talk about why certain things are very important when considering hair growth, because a lot of you guys been doing the same old for years and haven't been seeing any results, or should I say your desired results, because this 3 times a week trend just isn't cutting it for the ones who have bigger issues, like for example inflammation, buildup, dryness, or weak hair strands. And that could either be from the roots or the tips. And so many of you have stated over and over that you have tried everything and nothing works. But what if I told you that it does work and that you have been the problem? You have been your own worst enemy all along. And trust me, I'm not here to throw a stick at you nor hit you upside the head with it. But what if inconsistency has been your problem from the very beginning, that you have not been consistent all along? But before I get into all that, let me just talk about these herbs, the liquids, the essential oils, and the benefits behind them. So I grab a small skillet. You can grab a pot or whatever you choose to pour your distilled water into. And I choose distilled water because boiling regular water kills many microbes and removes some gases, but minerals, salts, metals, and impurities stay behind. And when the water boils, those minerals actually become more concentrated in the remaining water. So boiling tap water is not distilled water. But before adding anything else, I allow that water to come to a boil. And although distilled water has been boiled into steam, captured, and cooled back into liquid, I must reboil it in order to steep the herbs. But if you do not have distilled water, then this is your simple at-home distillation. You boil water in a pot, place a heat-safe bowl inside the pot, but make sure that it is not touching the water. Then you put the lid on upside down, place ice on top of the lid. After that, the steam rises, hits the cold lid, drips into the bowl, and there the water collected in the bowl is your distilled water. And I know y'all didn't ask for all of that, but it's for those that are incapable of getting out and getting their own. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that those minerals, salts, metals, and impurities are also affecting the growth and the health of your hair. But now it's time to get to the herbs. So you have your hibiscus flowers. And for those that will probably ask in the comment section, can you use the hibiscus powder? The answer is yes. If it says hibiscus, then by all means use it. I have the powder, but in this video I chose to use the flower. But I must tell you why I chose it. And after I explain it to you, some may just ask, well, why you say it's okay to use the powder? And the answer is because people are going to do whatever they want to do anyways. And no matter how I create these DIYs, and no matter how many that I upload, people are going to always, and I mean always, ask, can they substitute one ingredient for the next? I can explain how powerful these 2 or 3 ingredients work together and how they complement one another when it comes down to targeting certain areas. And people will still let that fly over their head and say in the comment section that they don't have this, but they have that. And instead of saying no, because they're going to ask why you're saying no, and I just don't have time for those long comments of explaining everything, I say yes. But I have a little bit of time today, so let me go ahead and just break down some of the benefits of the flowers versus the powders. The flowers are very stable, easier to strain, has long shelf life in infusions, less gritty residue, and is better for water-based tonic sprays and teas. And the pros of the powder is that it's very potent, faster extraction, and great for mask and paste. So if you're going to use the powder, just be careful straining it. Try not to get the teas into your liquids because you will clog up your spray bottle. But hibiscus alone thickens the hair strands. It encourages faster growth, it reduces shedding, and it adds slip and shine to your hair. Next, we have chamomile, which is rarely used in growth sprays. It is gentle but powerful. And I've added 1 tablespoon of each herb into the boiling water. But chamomile strengthens the follicles, naturally reduces inflammation on the scalp, helps soothe any irritation, and adds shine. And it's rarely used in hair growth spray, not because it doesn't work, but because it doesn't fit the marketing narrative most brands rely on. When most people hear chamomile, they think of the skin. They think of calmness, soothingness. They think of it reducing the inflammation of the skin. But calmness can be in a growth spray also. Don't you think your cuticles need to be soothed? And a lot of your scalps are definitely built up with inflammation. And a healing, dormant scalp needs chamomile. And just because it doesn't tingle doesn't mean that it is not working. And while the other ingredients are working to strengthen and to grow, this one is working to heal. And that's why I say that inconsistency is not going to work. And it hasn't been working. You have to apply it every day to train it. But this good old chamomile is going to help support the follicles and is going to strengthen your root's environment. It is a repair herb, but since it calms the skin, it soothes the irritation and reduces redness, it gets placed into the baby product section. But here's the truth. You cannot grow long and strong hair on an inflamed scalp. So let the chamomile repair the environment that your hair is growing from, which directly impacts thickness, retention, and density. And just because chamomile isn't viral, it isn't hyped, or isn't trending or talked about as far as applying it to the scalp, just know that this quiet ingredient often gives long-term results. So after I allowed the herbs to come to a boil, I stirred them a little, then I turned the heat off and let it steep for 20 minutes. And now it is straining time. So since you all already know how that goes, I'll just quickly tell you the measurements of the last ingredients that I'll be adding. So next I'll be adding 1 teaspoon of glycerin, 2 tablespoons of aloe vera juice, 4 to 5 drops of Optifin Plus, which is a preservative that allows you to keep your growth spray out of the refrigerator and it keeps it from going rancid. You need a preservative in order to receive the maximum benefits. If you don't use a preservative, then you have bought all of these ingredients for nothing. They've been helping y'all blow y'all money for years by telling y'all to place it in the refrigerator, then discarding it after 5 to 7 days. But before that, they tell you to apply it to your scalp every 3 to 5 days. Now, I'm no genius, but somewhere the math is not mathing and the growth is not growthing. Y'all really been pouring y'all hard-earned dollars down the sink. And I really see why y'all have been frustrated for years while lashing out and saying that it isn't working. But the whole time you've either haven't been using it the way you've supposed to been using it, or you have been throwing it away after a few days. People have been out here selling these overnight growth schemes like it's crazy. And people really been out here giving up just because they haven't seen the results overnight. And y'all know what I mean when I say overnight. And just because Shamika have seen hair growth results within 2 to 3 weeks, you think that your scalp is just like Shamika's, when your scalp could have went through a little bit more trauma than hers did. Because yes, trauma to the scalp plays a very important role in this. Or for those that will probably get offended from me using Shamika, whoever Shamika is, versus them, let me just switch it real quick. Shamika could have went through more hair trauma than you did. She could have been going to heavy hand braiders for several years, allowing them to pinch and pull. You know those braiders with them big heavy knuckles. Y'all, I can approve this message because I used to be a full-time braider for almost 30 years, retired for 2 years, and my hands are little. And I apply certain braids according to their client's density. So if their strands were weak or if you could see through their scalp, they could request big braids all day long from me, but they never got them. But some people automatically apply big braids, but thank God for knotless. But they ain't always safe either, depending on the braider's hands. You know, I'm just simply here to say that every braider or every hairdresser is not out for the well-being of your hair. They out for that almighty dollar, and they care nothing about what's more healthier for you and your hair. But let me stop because I'm going off on a rabbit trail and I don't even remember where I was. But I think I was talking about Shamika and how she's been going to someone for years and allowing them to continue to pour that glue on top of her hair in order to get that fire quick weave. But the whole time she didn't know that it is something in that glue. It's the devil or something, y'all. Something is in that glue that's leading people to baldness like never before. And they remember when they used to wear those quick weaves by choice, but now they are wearing them by force. Y'all, I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it with my own eyes, and I was able to witness it on many people's scalp. I mean, bald from the front of the hairline all the way to the back, leaving only a shag of hair at the back. So I know it's the glue because these people I know for a fact have worn quick weaves for several years. I don't even remember how their real hair looked before they even started wearing them. But like I stated earlier, it is hair trauma, which is damage to the hair and the scalp caused by repeated stress over time, not just one event. So with the essential oils, which is the lavender and the lemon, I added only 3 drops each. But hair trauma is very similar to physical or emotional trauma. The damage often isn't obvious at first, but the effects show up later. And it happens when the hair follicles, the scalp tissues, or the hair shafts are constantly pushed beyond what they can safely handle. So instead of growing in a healthy cycle, the follicle goes into a survival mode, which is where growth slows, shedding increases, hair becomes thinner, weaker, or stops growing altogether. And although I was being a little sarcastic about the Shamika thing, the quick weave thing, just know that my sarcasm holds absolute truth. And there's no denying in any of those examples that I use. But trauma don't all the time come from braids and quick weaves. It also comes from relaxers, texturizers, bleaching, and frequent coloring or harsh chemicals in shampoos. And it's not completely about what you did wrong or what they did wrong, but it's solely about what the hair has endured. And just like anything else that has been through stress, healing comes before growth. So y'all, I had to come back after applying this spray to my scalp because I realized that I didn't add the MSM powder. And by it being only a 4-ounce bottle, I only added a half of that little bitty small scooper. Only a half of that. But MSM is simply sulfur for hair growth, which is a building block of keratin. Keratin equals stronger hair equals less breakage, and less breakage equals visible growth. So MSM supports thicker, fuller new strands, not just length. This little ingredient works quietly but consistently, and as many of you already know, that it is very powerful. I mean, extremely powerful, and it helps heal the scalp. And the reason why it's not talked about enough in the hair care field is because it works quietly and not dramatically. But without sulfur, hair becomes weak, thin, prone to breakage, and slow to growing. And the way it heals is that it reduces inflammation from the scalp, which is what we know the biggest blocker of hair growth. But who would I be to complete this video without adding the good old MSM? It's like icing on a cake, like hot sauce on fish, like syrup on pancakes. Ooh, y'all, I play too much. And then look at how I'm making sure that I add this Carmex to my lip before I get started. Because if you're anything like me, if your lips are dry, you cannot think straight. I know I can't. But y'all, I'm just grabbing my jacket and I'm flipping it inside out, and I'm going to put it on just so the hibiscus will not get on my nice sweater. So disclaimer, and for the record, if you are going to try this spray, make sure that you are wearing something that you do not mind getting any stains on. Y'all see how I had to stop and think for a minute? I was trying to think real quick to see if I had anything else up here in my store that I was able to use, but I ended up not making a mess. I should have moved instead of being in front of these shelves. These shelves are white, and if I would have got those stains on them shelves, I would have had to repaint them all over again. Excuse me, y'all, but I'm just in disbelief of how irresponsible that was of me, because that spray really could have traveled. But instead, I should be in disbelief on how ratchet my head looks. But I promise y'all, I'm not messed up, because I am on a growth journey. And speaking of that be the problem for most people, that they are so worried about how nice they need to keep their hair looking. on a 24/7 basis. And that is also how some people's hair suffer from those quick weaves, because they wanted to keep their hair up and flashy 24/7. Y'all, I don't mind my hair looking a hideous hot mess under a wig. And no, I'm not talking about matted hair just for no apparent reason, but I'm talking about protective styling. It's so many people that sleeps on protective styles that it is crazy. I mean, if you are struggling with hair health and hair growth, then protective styles is what you really need, while applying the growth spray to your scalp every single day while wearing that protective style. I think that most people feel like when I say applying it to your scalp every day in my other DIYs, that you are thinking that I'm saying 365 days of the week. So let me just break it down real quick. If you are trying to grow your hair from 1 inch to the next, then install a protective style. Apply to your scalp every single day for 2 to 3 weeks. Shampoo it while it's in a protective style, or once you take the protective style down, then immediately shampoo your hair, condition it, and deep condition it. Give it a break like I sometimes do, and after a week or two, then install another protective style and leave it in for 2 to 3 weeks while applying the growth product to your scalp every single day during that time period, and receive your next inch or two if that is your goal. But if that is not your hair goal, then protective style again and repeat. I have mini twists installed, in which I started out with a plait first. So I am not able to shampoo my hair within the weeks of me wearing this protective style. But when I apply mini braids, yes, I do shampoo my hair from the roots all the way down to the tips, because I am using Heavenly Stimulating Growth Shampoo, which is a all natural plant-based shampoo in which I use from my hair care line, which is Heavenly Hair and Skincare Products. That is one of the products that I've created and been applying to my hair for 7 whole years. And although this is a DIY video, it is still my obligation to market my products for those who simply can't afford each and every ingredient that I share with you guys in my DIYs, but also for the ones who simply can't leave their home and go to each and every one of these marketplaces that sell herbs, because not all marketplaces have every exact herb only in one store. For those that have nothing like this in their hometown, and for those who simply are busy with work and family and just don't have the time to stop and make all of these products, but their hair and scalp is in dire need for it. Heavenly Hair and Skincare is for all races and all hair types, including locks. But back to protective styling. It doesn't all the time have to be for length and length only, because everyone is simply not just looking for hair length. Some people love having short hair, but they could very well be struggling with dormant follicles, weak roots, or see-through scalp. And that is where Heavenly's Follicle Thickening Revival Serum comes in. And the reason why you are seeing different labels, different colors, and different names is because TikTok would not approve of the first bottle, and it is because they were not able to read the ingredients in order for me to sell them through TikTok Shop. Now, although that label was temporarily only for the Christmas holiday season, I wasn't in a hurry to change it over to the original color of the label. But now I have been forced to do so, and not only have I been forced to change the label and the colors, I've also been forced to change the name, because TikTok guidelines be tripping. Now, the reason why it was called the Follicle Thickening Revival Serum is because it was created to revive the follicles. You know, those dead, dormant, or weak follicles. You know, those thin, sparse, see-through follicles. It was created to thicken them at the roots. And although it still does what it's supposed to do, I just knew that the title Follicle Thickening Revival Serum will be separate from my other growth oils that I have on my website. This oil is specifically created to revive what's already there, but to bring volume to it and to thicken it up, to give back what was lost over a few years or a certain period of time. Some people started out with either thick or fairly nice roots. And over a certain period of time in trauma, they have weakened and thinned out severely over the years. Or some even completely lost them and never even came back. But I was forced to shorten the name and change it to Revival Hair Serum, in which it is still reviving your hair from the roots. But when applied to the scalp after spraying this DIY growth spray, it is a dynamic duo for growth and for fuller roots. The spray heals the environment while the serum feeds the follicles. So if you want good results, then simply just spray the spray. But if you want great results, then apply the serum after spraying. Many of you already have the Revival Serum, so all you have to do is just create this DIY growth spray. But for those of you that don't have the Revival Serum, I do have it marked down for 30% off right now if you want to click on the link, or I'll place the product somewhere on the screen, in which I have already tagged in this video. The link to the website will also be placed in the description area, along with the ingredients, the measurements, and the instructions. But when you go onto the website, you will also see that I have a couple more items marked down 50% off. But many of us have stopped trusting the process because we have tried so many things that promise results and disappointed us. Sometimes it isn't that the product failed, but it is because we didn't stay consistent enough for the healing to finish. Remember, we are the same people that use a product for only a few days, skip a week, switch routines, and even buy it or make it simply just to sit it on the shelf. So when results aren't instant, we pull back to avoid being hurt again. So when you stop using a product early, that doesn't mean that it didn't work. It only means that the process was interrupted, and you don't see progress at first because it's happening beneath the surface. Because breakthrough simply doesn't disappear. It awaits for consistency to return.